Upfront and Outspoken with Bob Williams. If you love the Constitution,
man is not free unless government is limited.
if you love freedom,
As government expands, liberty contracts.
if you believe in personal responsibility, if you believe America is still the greatest nation on earth, then get ready for an experience you'll never forget. This is Upfront and Outspoken. Here's your host, Bob Williams.
Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue.
And welcome back. This is, of course, Upfront Outspoken. I'm your host, Bob Williams. Glad to have you. Wow. Yesterday, I must have created a firestorm of sorts. If you were listening yesterday, I had a mini rant about the Memories Pizzeria up in Walkerton and the fact that I felt that their decision basically violates the law, and I'm going to say that, the law, when they said right out that they would not cater to a gay wedding. Now, I don't know who in their right mind would want pizza for a wedding reception. You know, that's, fundamentally to me, way off base. Yet, a GoFundMe account was set up for Memories Pizzeria, in which garnered over $842,000 before it was finally shut down, nearly $1 million, from people who say that they support the owner's decision to do that. Well, here's the problem. Here's the issue that I have been raising all along. What you believe, your personal beliefs, if you're Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you are a Jew, if you are a Hindu, a Buddhist, a Catholic, whatever, those are personal choices. Those are your decisions. But when you open a business, and this is where everybody that has responded to my mini rant failed to realize, is that when you open a for-profit business, and what I'm saying for-profit is a pizzeria, another, say, Walmart or Kmart or whatever. When the minute you open a for-profit business, you must abide by the law, either state and or federal, regarding discrimination. And in most states, discrimination is indeed against the law. Many states have refined it to reflect handicap, age, race, religion, etc. So you cannot discriminate against these people, and now, because of the quote unquote LGBT movement, it has now gone to include sexual orientation, such as the federal law has, which was enacted way back in, I believe, 1993 under the Clinton administration. So, in essence, they become a protected class under the law against discrimination. So therefore, if you are a for-profit business, then you must, according to the law, abide by that anti-discrimination. Yet, it seems many people have wrote to me and said, well, the second the government infringes upon my religious right, I'm going to do this. Well, that may be your opinion, but if you own a business and it's a for-profit business, you must adhere to the law. I don't care who you are. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what sexual orientation you are. Your business must adhere to the law. It's simple, plain and simple. Yet, there are those out there that say, well, it's still, my decision if I want to do this. Well, I'm sorry. It's not. Not really. There was a case that just came up not too long ago. And this is the other side of that coin, in which a bakery refused to put a anti-gay, what do you call them, decorations on a cake. Well, the organization sued and this bakery, claiming that it violated their civil rights. But guess what? A hearing was held, and it was found that the bakery did not violate it because of the fact that what this particular organization wanted was classified as hate. It was not classified that they couldn't do it because they were a religious organization. In fact, the bakery said, yes, we will do the cake. However, we will not put this on it. So they were forewarned. They could have walked away. And so in that instance, the state agency upheld the owner's right. There's a difference between hate and discrimination. You have to understand this. The second you start going with hate literature or hate messages on something like that, it is the owner's prerogative to say, no, I can't do that. And that's exactly what this hearing held. Although the owner does suspect that decision will be appealed. The owner already said that she expects it to happen. But getting back to the blatant discrimination that it appears occurred in Walkerton and has occurred elsewhere, and Walkerton is not alone in this. Other cases have come up. Out in Washington, a business was fined or is in the process of possibly being fined over $350,000 for the same reason Walkerton is. And yet the incident in Washington State proves my point that once you are a for-profit business, then you must abide by that state's laws and federal laws regarding discrimination. In other words, you can't do it. You cannot do it. Why? You're going to say to me, no, Bob, that's not the case. It is. Because of the simple fact you now have a federal tax number, what they call the federal employer's identification number. You have state tax numbers for your employees. You also might have to have a state or local license to conduct business in your state or municipality. Therefore, you must abide by federal, state, and or local law. And for anyone to say that, oh, I'm going to discriminate against them, you're out of line. It's simple as that. If you want to discriminate against somebody, then open up a non-profit organization. Go through the procedure, get your non-profit status. Then you can discriminate against whomever you like, and you're going to be protected under the law because you're a non-profit organization. But the minute you are a for-profit, then you must abide by the law that requires you to not discriminate. And the federal law has sexual orientation in it, and many state and local laws also has sexual orientation in them. So therefore, as a local business owner or even a national business owner, you're not going to be allowed to discriminate. And there have been so many people out there that say, well, it's my right to discriminate. Not if you own a business. It's not a decision of choice. Everyone is getting this wrong. I mean, I've read it on my Facebook page. I've received emails up the yin yang about it. It's not a decision of choice. It's a point of law, and everyone fails to understand that. Everyone insists it is a Christian choice. Yes, for a nonprofit, for a church, yeah, it is a choice. But for a for-profit business, it is not your choice to do so. It is a point of law, and the law is very explicit. And sexual orientation in many states, municipalities, and at the federal level includes sexual orientation. So you must abide by the law if you are a for-profit business. And like I said, I received email after email. I seen on my Facebook page some of the commentary that was left about this. And everybody seems to forget, and I'm going to leave it at that. Everybody seems to forget. It's not the fact that it is a religious issue that I raised. I raised a point of law. Point of law. If you do not know what that means, look it up. Google it. Whatever. The law is there, and that's the way it is. It is applied across the board. Some may say unequally. Others will say, well, that's unfair. You know, why am I having this shoved down my throat? I should have a right to make a decision for my own business. You do have rights to make decisions for your business. But that right does not include you being able to discriminate against a particular protected class. Now, that's what gets people in the other area of misunderstanding, shall we say. Misunderstanding. Prior to this, and I'm going to go back in history, blacks were classified as property until after the Civil War. And they were not actually protected until the civil rights came in. Although in many people are going to argue we still aren't protected. In a lot of ways, you now are. You are for the most part because it's part of the law. And that law says you are protected because of race. So that doesn't include just the blacks. It includes whites. It includes Hispanics. It includes Asians. It includes anyone. You are also protected against discrimination because of your religion. Okay, that means if you're Muslim, Jew, Hindu, if you believe in Catholicism, I don't care if you believe that the ant is God. If that is your religion, then under the anti-discrimination laws, you are protected. An employer cannot discriminate against you. A business cannot discriminate against you. The problem has been, as of late, the fact that sexual orientation is now being upfront, and I don't mean that as a pun on about my own show, but it is. It's there. It's in our faces all the time. As of late, should the LGBT community also garner the right to be protected? I believe they do. And the federal government felt so, and many states have felt so. So they are a protected class under the anti-discrimination laws. So before you open your business, or you want to open your business, you better take a real long look at not only yourself, but at the law. Because the second you are a for-profit, and I'm saying this, for-profit business or organization, then you must adhere to the laws regarding anti-discrimination. So if I come in there and I profess to you that I am a gay individual wanting a wedding cake for my wedding reception, you say, well, I can't because it's against my Christian beliefs. Boom, you have now violated the law. And the law will support me in the event I raise a lawsuit against you. You do not think that it wouldn't? You are badly mistaken. It would. Because if that state has sexual orientation as a protected class, you as a business owner are going to have to either cave in, pay a fine, or shut your doors. That's simple. Those are the only three options you're going to have. You're not going to have the right to say, well, I felt that, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Well, day late, dollar short then. So before you open any sort of a business and you want to hire employees, or you take that very first dollar from your very first customer, you better be made fully aware of the anti-discrimination laws in your state. Because if you think for 1 minute you will be able to discriminate against anyone because of sexual orientation, race, religion, creed, age, handicap, whatever, you are sorely mistaken, because you can't. If you want to open that business up as a nonprofit, be my guest. You're not going to make a dime, but be my guest. Then you can say to this individual, no, we are not making that cake. No, I am not going to sell that article of clothing to you. No, I am not going to do this. Because then you fall under a nonprofit status, and therefore you have the right to discriminate against whomever you choose. It's as simple as that. But so long as you are a for-profit business, you're not going to be able to get away with discriminating. I'm under the impression that even though if nothing else right now, if I were you, if you want to discriminate against people, go to North Dakota. But I got a hunch the pressure is going to be turned up on North Dakota very soon to put sexual orientation into their law. 2 words, sexual orientation. Once it is in that law, then you might as well move out of North Dakota. But I've got a hunch coming up here, it will come back on the floor, Lord legislative body, and it will get amended. Just like it has in Indiana, just like it has in Arkansas, just like it has in countless states across the country. Sexual orientation will be a protected class. So if you are a business owner, and like I said, I cannot stress this enough, and I will not continue not stressing this. If you are a business and you are making a profit, you better check your laws in your state. Because if sexual orientation is included in that law, the second you decide, you're going to say, no, I can't serve you. No, I can't make this cake. No, I can't sell you this clothing because it's against my religious convictions. You are facing a lawsuit. Bingo. Plain fact. You are facing a lawsuit because you violated the anti-discrimination laws of your state. So if you want to discriminate, then be a nonprofit. You want to make money, abide by the law. How simple is that? This has never been a religious issue, although everyone out there thinks this is a religious issue. It's not. Although a person's religious choice has come into the mix, it has always been a matter of law, a point of law. And I want to remind you of that. What is going on with these religious freedom is one thing, but it is a point of law. And everyone fails to understand that. everyone insists that it is my right to discriminate on somebody because of my religious beliefs. You're wrong. You are wrong. You are so badly mistaken. If you own a for-profit business, you must adhere to the law regarding anti-discrimination. How simple can it be? And with that, it is time for me to get out of here. Stay tuned, because coming up right after NPR News, Ed Till will be with you till 4 o'clock. Until tomorrow, 6 a.m., this is Bob Williams. Take care of yourselves.